Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswati Namaha. Om Shri Gurudevaya Namaha. Om Bhadram Karneभिः Shrunuyam Devaः Bhadram Pashyemakshaviryajatraः Sthirairangaiस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः Yashema Devahitam Yadayuः Swasti na Indro Vruddhashravah Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedah Swasti nastarkshyo Arishtanemihi Swasti no Brihaspatirdhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, so today we are seeing now this Ātmā Upaniṣad. Ātmā Upaniṣad comes from the Atharva Veda. We have, 4 Vedas, and in each of the 4 Vedas at the end, we have various Upanishads. So this Ātmā Upaniṣad comes from the Atharva Veda, and the Vakta is the great Angirasa Rishi, Angirasa Muni, who is very famous throughout the scriptures. And in the introduction itself, he will tell what is this Ātmā Upaniṣad. Let us see. You all have some text. You don't have anything. Okay, try to repeat this. Athaeva Angirasa Angira Trividaha Purushaha Tadyatha Bahyatma Antaratma Paramatma Cha Iti. So, Angiras says that there are 3 Atmas. So it starts with confusion already, that there are 3 Atmas. Really, there is only one Atma. Now let us see this word Atma a little bit, then we will see 3 Atma. And this Atma word, you will see Putatma, Paramatma, Jivatma, Dehatma, all sorts of Atma only words are there. So this word occurs so variously everywhere. Chaturatma sometimes is word used for the Antakarana, Mana Chitta Buddhi. Ahankara is sometimes called Chaturatma. So what is all this Atma and all? Atma word is to be understood first very simply. What is this Atma? See, Atma means the self. Simple in English, is the word self. Now, what is self? Self also is to be seen as from 2 standpoints. Self, if we give another translation, will be essence. So all things in the universe will have an individual essence, and it will also have a universal essence. So there is something about this which makes it glasses, and this which makes it watch. So there is the essence of the individual thing, that which makes it that thing, that is called as essence, and not the other thing. There is something which is fundamentally different between the two objects. So that thing which makes it fundamentally different from another object. Why you will not call this watch, and why you will not call these glasses? There is something which is fundamentally different between the two. So that is called the individual essence. But if you go deeper into both of them, deeper into the two things, deeper you go, even in science, now you see the two things start being made up of molecules, and then atoms, electrons, protons, neutrons, and deeper you go, they become energy, and then deeper in energy they become existence. In other words, deeper you go, the two things, or the differences between the two things melt away, and you end up with one thing, that is existence only. So the existence is the common essence of all things. That existence is also called as Ātmā, and the individual essence is also called as Ātmā. One more thing about this. The individual essence is again nothing but the common essence. The individual essence is only the common essence at a more gross level. When you go to the subtler level, all the individual essence, they melt into one common essence. So when we say the self of the thing, we are either speaking about the self at the gross level, the thing that makes this glasses and the thing that makes this a watch. In other words, the thing that makes this a watch tells time. This cannot tell time. And the thing that makes this a glasses is it helps you to see. This watch cannot help you to see. The watch has to be seen. Cannot help to be. That's why I say watch. It's called watch. You have to watch the watch. So if this used to help us to see, then we'll also call it as glasses. And if this used to tell time, we'll also call it as watch. But they don't. They have individual essences. That thing which makes this glasses, it helps us to see. Which makes watch, it tells time. I don't know if the watch tells time, but these type of watches don't tell time. We have to read the time. It doesn't tell the time. Nowadays there are some places, that elevators, 4th floor, the elevator says, and in malls and in airport it tells the time. It is 9 a.m. Some big announcement you will hear. But the watch doesn't talk like that. Your cell phone talks. So when you say it tells the time, you have to use Jahala Lakshana for that too. It tells the time. But anyway, that is its individual essence. So that is called the self of the watch, the thing which makes it distinguished from the other thing. And that only, if you go deeper, it becomes, you see, one common essence of all things. That is called the Ātmā. Really speaking, it is that which is referred to as Ātmā, the common essence of all things. Karya Karana Vilakshanaha Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarupa Ātmā. That is how you have to. That thing which is different from any cause and effect, and it is Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarupa. By nature, always free, eternal, and of the nature of pure knowledge. What does this mean? Paramatma, Brahman. So Atma refers to Paramatma or Brahman, the supreme reality. It is that Atma which appears as the individual essences in the world. It is the Paramatma or the Atma which appears as. Now see, he says now, Angiras Rishi says, there are three Atmas. Now let us see that a little bit, and then we'll come back to this, what we are talking about just now. He says, Trivida Purushaha Tad Yatha, the Purusha, supreme reality, Paramatma, Brahman, whatever you want to call it, he says, is three. Three means what? It appears as three. What are they? Bahyatma. Bahya Atma, the outer Atma. Ajayata. I am using Ramakrishna Mission publication. It is Bahyatma, Ajayatma. Ajayatma is also there in some of the other publications. So, it's referring to the same thing, we will see just now. Then, that is the first Atma. How many Atma? It says three. The Atma appears as three, Paramatma, Purusha appears as three. One is called Bahyatma. Bahyatma means the outer Atma. Then Antaratma, the inner Atma. And then the last one, Paramatma, the supreme Atma. So now three Atma, inner, outer Atma, inner Atma and Paramatma. So what exactly is the outer Atma? Outer Atma refers to this body. The body. Inner Atma refers to Antakarana. And Paramatma refers to the supreme reality behind the body and the Antakarana. There is a supreme reality behind everything, which we are calling just now the collective, or the collective essence, is the general essence of all things. Common essence, that is called as Paramatma. So three words are given. Now one more thing. Even though three are given, here the explanation doesn't go into detail, but we have to understand that. What it says? Purushaha tad yatha trividaha. The Purusha appears as the three. It is not that there are three. That is like clay appearing as many objects, or gold appearing as many objects. It's not that. I know you, in your ordinary language, you speak about 10 karat gold and 20 karat gold and 24 karat gold, and I don't know what karat gold and all. I don't know anything about carat. I know about carrots to eat. But what is carat gold and all, I don't know what they mean by 24 carats and 10 carats and all that kind of thing. I think it is adulterated gold. Or not pure gold. But anyway, gold is gold. So if you have gold bracelet, gold chain, gold ring, whatever gold, the gold is common. But here gold appears as ring, here gold appears as chain, necklace, here gold appears as bracelet, whatever. But the gold in all of them will be one and same. So the same supreme reality appears as Paramatma, appears as Antaratma, and appears as Bahyatma, the external Atma, internal Atma and Paramatma. It's not that there are three Atmas, it is three manifestations or states or aspects of the same one reality. That is the idea. Now, this is just the introduction of the Upanishad in the beginning there. In the same passage itself, now he starts telling about the Bahyatma, the external Atma. Internal Atma and Paramatma he'll deal with in other passages. But in this passage now, where there is the introduction of the Upanishad, in the same passage, he deals with now the Bahyatma or the external Atma. External Atma, I told you, is what you can see in front of you. We see everybody's external Atma. We don't see anybody's internal Atma, and we don't see anybody's Paramatma. So now, what is this Bahyatma? In detail now he tells this. See. Tvakcharma, Nakha Mamsa, Roma, Anguli, Anguštha, Prishtavamsha, Nakha Gulbha, Udara, Nabhi, Medhakati, Uru, Kapola, Bhru, Lalata, Bahu, Parshva. These are all different words. Shira, Udhavanika, Akshini, Shrotrani, Bhavanti, Jayate Mriyate iti esha, Bahyatma nama. So this is called as the Bahya Atma, the external Atma. First of all, it is made up of all of these parts, all parts which we know already. And just Sanskrit words are given for all of them. Tvak and Charma. That is dermis and epidermis. For those who have studied, they used to make us study that in school. Dermis and epidermis, different layers of the skin, in other words. Nakha, made up of nails. Bahyatma, all of this. Then, Mamsa, flesh. Rova, hair. Anguli. Anguli means fingers. Thumbs and fingers and all that. Anguštha. Anguštha means fingers also, but also toes. Prishtavamsha, I mean the spine. The backbone, spine is made up of nakha, nails, again nakha is coming, and gulfa, ankles, so nails of the fingers and nails of the foot, in other words. Gulfa means the ankle. Udara, belly, navi, navel. Medha means genitals. Kati, waist, hips, like that. Uru, thighs. Kapol means cheeks. Chobi kapol. Bhru means eyebrow. Lalata means forehead. Bahu means arms. Parshva means sides. Right side, left side, front side, back side, every side. Sides. Shira, head. Udara manika means veins and nerves, like that. Nadis, things that run inside. Akshini, eyes. Shrotrani, ears. Bhavanti jayate mirete iti. So these all, so the Bahyatma now is that which goes through the Shadvikar. Shadvikar, you know. Asti jayate mriyate avadate viparinamate apakshiyate vinashyati iti. Like that. So, whatever goes through these 6 changes, at one time it is there, asti, means in the womb. It is there in a womb all the time. The body is always there in some womb, you know. This body wanes, dies, perishes, and then this jiva goes and sets himself up in some womb somewhere. So the asti is there in that body. Then that body is jayate. It's born. Then vardate, it grows because he overeats. Because he's born like this yesterday or the day before yesterday. I saw in the news a baby was born with only a few ounces. Like 5 or 6 ounces. So he's born that little. And then Vardate. He goes on eating incessantly. And Vardate, grows, what to say. Then Viparinamate, changes. You can't recognize him. So all his limbs, which is, if you look at his picture when he's small, and you look at his picture when he's, I remember my grandfather showing me a picture when he was 20, and I knew my grandfather like 60, 70. When he told me that is his picture, till today I don't believe him. Viparinamate, he changes, you can't recognize him. You see that person after so many years. Just a month ago, my class of 1975 had a reunion. 40 people. And they invited me there. And I recognized 5. All other 35. So I'm seeing these people for the first time. That is called as Viparinamate. Changes. So all the body changes, you can't recognize. You say, is it you? Oh my God, I can't recognize you. You, George? I can't recognize you. That fellow said, my name is not George. He said, what, your name changed too? Everything. So, that is called as Viparinamate. Then, Asti Jayate Vardate Viparinamate Apakshiyate means wanes. Not only is it changing, but the change also includes another very important thing, and that is a natural entropy. The change is characterized by a natural entropy. The change is not a change for the things here which we are all seeing. The change is not a change for the better. The natural change is a change of decay. This building, for instance, if you leave it, it will change. You leave it for 20 years or 30 years, it will change. But the change will not, the building will not become better. It will become worse. That type of thing. So, this apakshiyate word is given. You see there? It means it wanes. This body wanes. So every day we are dying. That is the idea. The eventual end is death. That is why the last one, that vinashati iti. So it goes through these 6 changes. This is, no. How this thing is called as Atma? And now this is where the crux of the Upanishad comes. I want to tell you this thing, this very important thing. How does body called Atma? What is being employed in the Upanishad is a very ancient Nyaya, which you hear today in ordinary language also. It is called as Shakhat Chandra Nyaya. Shakhat Chandra Nyaya is being employed by the sage Angirasa in the Upanishad to bring our mind closer to the appreciation of the Atma. Remember, he started by saying it is the same Atma which has 3 manifestations, as it were, or appears as Bahyatma, the outer Atma, this body, inner Atma, which is the Antakarana, we will see just now in the next passage, and Paramatma, the supreme reality. It is the same one reality appearing as 3. Like the same clay appears as pot and pan, and clay appears as a donkey and a mule and horse and whatever you make out of the clay. So the clay is not different, it is just appearing as different things. Manifested as different things. So here now, the same Supreme Reality appears as Paramatma, Antaratma and Bahyatma. And he is employing, I told you, Shakha Chandra Nyaya. Now what is the Shakha Chandra Nyaya? Let me tell you. Then we'll come back to that thing. Shakha Chandra Nyaya. It is called the maxim of the bow and the moon. It must have been started by some ancient person because it is very old, or by some native Indian or whoever. They are also very good at these things. The father is trying to show the boy the moon, or the father is speaking about a moon to the boy, and the boy asks, which moon? Look there, the moon in the bough of the tree, that main branch of that tree going up like this, and there is the moon. So now the moon is something which is remote. That in those days men had not gone to the moon yet. That thing is very remote. So when the father is speaking about the moon, and the boy asks, which moon are you talking about? He said, the moon in the tree there, in the bough of the tree. Because from where they are standing, from where the father and the boy are standing, there appears to be some contiguity between the branch and the moon. Means the moon seems to be touching the branch. There's a common line between the two of them. Contiguity, contiguousness, so I know what the English word will be. So, though one appears, one is very remote and one is right here, the appearance is that there is a contiguousness between the two. And second thing, this is first thing, there's a contiguousness between the two. Second thing is, one is being used to point to the other. One of them is being used to point to the other. Because the father is not speaking about branch. The father is speaking about moon. But when the boy asks, which moon? Well, that moon which is there on the branch. So, the boy knows branch. Because you see branch daytime, nighttime, every time. You don't see moon all the time. So, that moon which is there on that branch. So, this is called a Shakha Chandra Nyaya, means one thing which is used to point out the other thing, because there appears to be a contiguity or contiguousness. What is the word? Between the two. So now, see here. This gross object is there. And this will be very much like this body, which we just pointed out as Bahyatma, right? The body is pointed out as Bahyatma, the external Atma. So if you apply this Shakha Chandra Nyaya, first thing is, body is Jara. Atma is Chetan. Jara means inert, dead. Chetan means conscious, aware, alive, right? Chetan. Now, there's a remoteness between those two things. There's remoteness between Jara and Chetan. Jara can never be Chetan. Jara is Jara. And Chetan can never be Jara. If something is conscious, it can never be dead. And if something is dead, it cannot be conscious. Therefore, this watch doesn't know. That's why it cannot tell time. So one is inert and one is conscious. Now, between the body and this conscious being, the inert body and conscious being, there seems to be some contiguity between both of them. Means to say, the body appears to be very much alive. Our body appears alive or not? Body is going on seeing, hearing, talking, this, that, everything. It appears to be alive. So this is where the body ends and where the life in the body starts. Where one ends and where one, who can tell? So there seems to be some contiguity, means between the two. Contiguous there. You see? So now the dead body is being used to point to the conscious Ātmā. That is how the Shakha Chandra Nyaya is being employed. The dead body is pointed out here in the mantra which you just saw. Eyes, ears, nose, ityadi, all the feet and nail and hair and this and that. All dead. They're all dead, all inert. But they appear alive. So there appears in them some enlivening principle, some enlivening thing. That enlivening thing is being pointed out through them. That is the idea. So no, this is just from one standpoint, at one level. Now see other thing. That same body or any inert thing. But I just told you the body is inert, so we might as well use any other inert thing. It doesn't make any difference. Any inert thing will be made up of that same Ātmā. How? This thing has edges, right? Or let us use our example of a cube of ice. A cube of ice is there, let us say 2 inches by 2 inches by 2 inches, right? How many sides will be there? 6 sides. And there will be 4, 2, 4, 6. How many corners? And then there will be straight edges. That way, this way, this way. So, let us say you want to touch corner, or you want to touch edges, or you want to touch sides. When you touch corner or edges or sides, and you are saying that there are 6 of all of them. When you touch a corner or you touch a side or an edge of that cube, can your finger actually touch edge there? Or are you touching only H2O? You touch at edge. Look here, H2O feels wet. And in this case, you don't know what an edge feels like. We don't know edge feels wet or dry. We don't know. When we touch that cube, whichever point we touch, edge, side, corners, face, doesn't matter. We are only touching H2O. It means the Nama and Rupa. Nama is Mr. Cube. Its name. Rupa is 6 sides, form. Right? So there is a Nama Rupa which we are experiencing, but if I try to touch that Nama Rupa, I cannot touch. I am only touching H2O if I touch any part of that thing. I cannot touch a point. That point I am touching is H2O only. That face I am touching, that is H2O only. My finger cannot touch face. But what a peculiar thing. Our experience is I am touching one side, and I say also I am touching one side, I am touching one corner, I am touching one edge, like that. Really speaking, I am only touching H2O. That is the fact. You could feel whatever you want and say whatever you want and think whatever you want. But the fact of the matter remains, I am only touching H2O there. So now, how did we come to know that? Well, we studied this cube. We studied the cube a little bit. We went deeper into the cube and we found that this cube is made up of only one thing. This cube is made up of H2O. And when we reflected on that a little bit more, we realized, if I'm saying how many? There are 6 sides, 6 edges, 6 corners, and there's a name also. How many things are there? It's called Mr. Cube. All of this thing, right? So from that cube, if I remove the molecules of water one by one and I keep it aside, and then after removing all the molecules, here, the 4 things which are just 6 sides, 6 edges, 6 corners, and the Mr. Cube name and all of that. And also size 2 by 2. None of that remains. So after we study like this, then we come back. Oh, I remove one thing and all the other 5 disappeared. After reflecting like this, I realized, then I come to the conclusion, in the first place, there was only one thing there. There were no 5 or 6 things. There was only one thing. The other 5 or 5 things, they are mere appearances, unreal appearances. There was, in fact, in the beginning itself, only one thing, that is H2O. So now, the 5 elements there, which is 4 sides, 4 corners, 6 sides, 6 corners, 6 tips, Mr. Cube name, and 2 by 2 size. All these things I experience. After experiencing them, I inquire into them. I look into them. Oh, let me look to see exactly what is a side. Inquire, what is a side? What is a tip? What is an edge? When I look deeper to find out what are all of these things, I discover only one thing there. So you take a microscope and try to find side. You'll find side. You'll only find H2O. But, you see now, the study of the sides and the name and the tip and the study of all of that and the reflection upon that brings the person to the understanding of a deeper fundamental reality in that cube, which is only H2O. In the very same way, this body, the study of the body and all of its elements, if we go deeper and deeper and deeper into the body, then after that study and inquiry, we end up only with Atma. So the body is being used as the medium to get to the Atma. Like the branch is being used as the medium to get to the moon. That is the idea. And if we study the body deeper and deeper and deeper, we go deeper and deeper, the body will land us only in the Atma. How? It will take us only to Atma. How? See? We just take one thing. You cut a piece of your nail. That's part of the body. All nakha is given there twice. You cut a piece of that nail and you put it under the microscope now. Then what you will see? It is made up of some smaller particles, isn't it? Calcium and this and that, whatever. Then you go down into that calcium, let us say, you will find that electrons and protons and neutrons, and you go deeper and deeper like that. If you study, then what you will end up with in the final thing that you will end up with is existence only. Microscope cannot see that, of course. With microscope you will not be able to see existence, but existence you can't see. Existence We can't see, but we know. Because of the simple rule. What is the simple rule? Nothing comes from nothing. If there is a nothing, nothing can come from it. So if something has come, that means there has to be a something. If something is existing, it had to come from something. Because if there was a nothing, nothing would have come. That is meaning nothing comes from nothing. That is very complex language. Even nothing is a something. How you are talking about it? It is something only. So, anyway, you go down into that nail under the microscope, deeper, deeper, deeper. You end up with existence. So that means this body, if studied well, will be resolved also into existence finally. Existence is the building block of the universe. So the body is being studied here from that standpoint also, that if you go deeper and deeper and deeper into the body, you will end up with existence. That is the supreme reality. That is first thing. Second thing is, the body is also being studied because the body, which is jara and seems to be chit, I mean the body seems to be alive and seems to be aware and conscious, because you know when you hear a noise, a sound there, the head turns. So the body, I heard something there. I know there is a sound that came. It sounded like a part. All that. So the body seems to be responding. And dead men don't respond. So if I am responding, that means I am alive. And where did that life come from? So now there seems to be some life associated with this body. And if I now study what is that life, I'll realize, and deeper now we go, that life is nothing but consciousness, which is the same thing as existence. Consciousness and existence, sat and chit, they are one and same. So the study of the jara or the jara vastu is being used to point to the chetan vastu, the other thing. So this is how it is employed. Now, in the next mantra, it speaks about the, what is called sometimes the Chaturatma, I told you, the Antakarana. Now there is one more thing. See, before we continue, usually it is said that there are 4 Atmas. Here he gives only 3. So what is Bahyatma, which is body, Antaratma, which is Antakarana, and then Paramatma, which is supreme reality. One other Atma which comes, as always spoken about, is called as Jivatma. Jivatma. So that is not given. So where did Jivatma fall through the crack? Went through the cracks there somewhere. Jivatma will have to be clubbed with Antaratma. Antaratma, which is the Antakarana. They call, that is included in the Antakarana, called Jivatma. So, he says, these all belong to, which he just listed, all the jara parts, and they belong to the Bahyatma. And he ends that by saying that they jayate, mriyate, ityadi. Ityadi means you have to understand by upalakshana. Jayate, mriyate, vajjate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, vinashyati, iti. They go through all of these. So now, if the same Paramatma or supreme reality is the Chetan part which is enlivening this body, it is the Paramatma is the Chetan part which is enlivening this body, then we have to be very, very careful that we don't apply this Jayate, Vardhate, Viparinamate, Ityadi to Paramatma now. That mix up, this is actually the mix up of the Jiva. What is the meaning of this? See, I told you just now, one thing, the branch is being used to point out to the moon. So the father tells, look, this is the moon on the tree there, on the bough of the tree. So here, the jara vastu, the jara body, means the inert body, is being used to point to the Paramatma. So the inert body, which is by itself dead, it becomes alive. But in that, there is something which is called as Anyonya Adhyasa. Anyonya Adhyasa means, what happens there? The qualities of the body also gets transferred over to Atma. See, we say Atma is eternal. Atma is all-pervasive. Atma is achalam, means it is unmoving. Atma is akarta, abhokta, means it is a non-doer and it is a non-experiencer, like that. These are qualities of Atma given in Shastras and all. But now, that Atma, which is there, associated with this body, that Atma seems to be what? Moving. This body moves or not? So then we say, I moved from here and I went there. So, I is Atma. But we just said Atma is Achalam. It doesn't move. We also said Atma is all-pervasive. An all-pervasive thing cannot move from one place to the other place. But this space can move from here and go somewhere or what? Space cannot move from here and go, because space is already everywhere. Something that is already everywhere cannot go anywhere. So the Atma associated with this body takes on qualities, as it were, of the body, and the body associated with the Atma takes on qualities of the Atma. So the body which is Jara takes on the Chetan, conscious aspect of the Atma. Body is Jara, inert, but it becomes as though alive now. That quality gets from Atma. And the quality of the Atma, which is all-pervasive and all that thing, now that takes on, the Atma takes on qualities of the body, limited. And that Atma is eternal, never dies. But we say, I will die. I go on saying, I will die. Please remember, when I go on saying, body cannot say. Because body, I told you, dead men tell no tale. So when I say I, actually that is being afforded, or that statement is being afforded only by Atma. I really am the Atma. But then in the same statement, I say I. So in other words, I first ascertain or acknowledge my Atma self. I, right? Because I am saying, and the saying can only be done by a conscious being. Second, I am recognizing my existence by saying I. But in that same statement, I say, I will die. No, that is a contradiction. The sentence has a contradiction. By saying I, when I start the statement, I, in that first word, I recognize my Atmatvam, Atmahood. Because I am saying, and dead things tell no tale. Dead things don't say. Second, I acknowledge my presence. Presence is existence. So in the first word of the sentence, I do this thing. What I acknowledge my Atmahood, I acknowledge my existence, I acknowledge my conscious nature and all of that in the first word. But then in the rest of the sentence, I will die. That means every sentence we make, there is contradiction in it. That is because of this Anyonya Adhyasa. The I, Atma, has wrongfully assumed traits and characteristics and qualities of the body. The body will die. That is a different matter. That is the truth. The body will die. But not the self. Yes. The eternal self associated with that body. So, in every statement, there is a mix-up in a human being's life. So the jayate, mriyate, vardate ityadi, that belongs to body and not to Atma. That we have to very clearly separate. These Shad Vikar belong to the body. And our problem in life and our bondage is the Shad Vikar we superimpose on Atma. Therefore, I will die. And when I die, people have their will, last will and testament. Why? Because I am going to die. And don't bury me, and I am claustrophobic. You have to cremate me. I am not afraid of fire. People say, don't bury me, I am claustrophobic. I stifle under there. It's an amazing thing. So, he thinks that he will die. The body will die. And the Atma has assumed this wrong idea about body. So, this is now the Bahyatma, which is the external Atma. Now, how it has to be understood, the same supreme reality, Atma, is appearing as this body. How? Etasmat Akasha Sambhuta. From this reality, the Ātmā Upaniṣad explained, from this reality came Akasha. Akasha means space. Akashat Vayu. Vayu Agnihi. Agnerapah. Adbhyat Prithivi. Suddenly the Rishi changes the word there first. So from that came space, from space, air, fire, water, earth, like that. And from that fire, air, and all of that, they went through the 5 elements. They went through Panchikarana. And then Panchikarana was used in the formation of this body. But all of them came from that only. So the same reality appearing as the 5 elements and then appearing as body and all these limbs and all of that, right? Now, it is that same reality, therefore, is manifesting as body, which is the Bahyatma. The same reality is we're going to see in the next passage, manifesting as Antaratma. And same reality, which is there as Avyakta and there as Paramatma. The same reality. It is not that the reality is a different reality. Here, at the level of the body, there is a most wonderful principle which helps us also to know that this body is only a manifestation of the absolute reality. And Bhagavan Shankaracharya describes this, I think maybe in 13th chapter in his Bhagavad Gita Bhashya. This body, like all the other jada things in the world, this jada, this body jada, everything, they follow one very important rule. Body and all the jada vastu follow one important rule. Not only body and jada vastu. That is just, the category is just narrow. All idam. Remember, every vritti is made up of aham vritti and idam vritti. All idam follows a very, very important general incontrovertible law. What is that? All idam follows the law of drishta nashta. Drishta nashta means upon inquiry as to what that thing is, upon inquiry as to what that thing is, that thing disappears. They call it drishta nashta. Like this wall, if we ask what it is, we'll say, well, it's a wall. Oh, you can't see a what? No. What it is really. So we take a microscope and we go down there, right? And then you get a more powerful microscope and a more powerful one, an electron microscope, and you go down. And they say, let us say, we reach to the level of the atom. It is made up of the atom. Well, the atom has a little nucleus here, and then you have electrons out there. And they say the space between this little nucleus here and the electrons out there is like intergalactic space. So much distance. Right? So, in effect, this wall is nothing but 99.9999% space. In effect, if you really start inquiring as to what is this wall, it disappears. Because if you end up only seeing space, then where is the wall? Everything in the universe follows this law. If you inquire, in English language there is a very wonderful statement which says, you explain the thing away. Explain it away. It means you try to explain that, you try more and more to explain that. After some time, that thing you will end up in a state where you don't know what you are talking about. Like that. It's explained away. If we go on looking into this, look deeper, it disappears. And that goes for everything. That is why people who think too much, then you say they have no brain. Because you go on thinking, that brain also. Anything in the world, please remember this law. And it is general law, incontrovertible. Nobody can ever dispute this law also. Drishta nashta. The universe is drishta nashta. The entire idam, jagat, is drishta nashta. So now, this, in this way also, this body, it is an objectifiable thing. It is idam. If you look into this body with all of these parts which is just listed, you look deeper into the parts, everything disappears, and what we end up with? Existence only. So the body is being used now in this first mantra to point to the Atma, to indicate the Atma, to lead to the Atma. So you see all of this, just like Shakha, Chandra, Nyaya, where the branch is being used to indicate or point to the moon. Okay. Now, different gear. You pull off in first gear. You have to press the clutch, release the accelerator, and put the second gear. And then we keep that clutch pressed there and we'll release it tomorrow.